Good morning/afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you to today's presentation titled The Art and Impact of Improvisation, Embracing Acceptance, Presence, and Action. We'll explore how the core principles of improv can spark creativity, build meaningful connections, and drive personal and leadership growth. Get ready to dive into how embracing spontaneity and openness can transform both our lives and the way we lead. Let's get started. Improvisation is much more than just acting on the spot. It's a powerful practice that teaches us essential life skills. At its core, improv is about acceptance, being fully present in the moment, and creating meaningful connections with others. When we engage in spontaneous collaboration, we learn to embrace uncertainty and work together to co-create something new in real time. This requires us to listen attentively and respond thoughtfully, which helps build trust and openness in our interactions. The beauty of improv is that these skills aren't limited to the stage. They extend into our personal and professional lives, enriching our relationships by fostering a mindset of receptivity and creative engagement. Ultimately, improv encourages us to remain open and adaptable, ready to connect and create with others in any situation. In a live performance in Germany during the 1960s, Herbie Hancock played a wrong chord. Instead of seeing it as a mistake, Miles Davis responded with a musical fill that made the error feel intentional. This response highlights something very important. Mastery in improvisation isn't just about technical skill, but also about being open and adaptable. Miles's ability to accept what happened and creatively build on it turned potential failure into an exciting new musical direction. It's a powerful example of how acceptance, combined with inventive action, can transform mistakes into masterpieces. Life doesn't come with a fixed script, so every day we find ourselves improvising, whether at work, in our relationships, or in how we grow personally. No matter how much we try to plan, unexpected events will always pop up, and that's why being flexible is so important. Improv skills like active listening, staying present, and accepting what comes our way give us the tools to handle these uncertainties with confidence. Developing these skills helps us build resilience and adaptability, allowing us to engage more deeply with whatever life throws at us. Ultimately, being able to navigate these unscripted moments is key not just to surviving, but to thriving both personally and professionally. I began my improv journey back in 2011, and like many, I initially thought improv was just about being funny and making people laugh. But as I gained more experience, I realized that improv is much deeper than comedy alone. It's really about listening closely and working together with your partners to create something meaningful in the moment. My focus shifted from just trying to get laughs to supporting my fellow performers and embracing the idea of collective storytelling. Ultimately, I came to see improv as a powerful way to connect with others, not just as a form of entertainment. This shift changed how I approach improv and how I engage with those on stage and in everyday life. Improv might seem completely spontaneous, but it actually follows some important guiding principles that help keep the flow smooth and engaging. One of the key rules is the acceptance of offers. This means you never deny what your partner brings to the scene. Instead, you say yes and build on it. This naturally leads to strong support and collaboration, where everyone backs each other's ideas to create something together. Another important principle is progressive interaction. This means avoiding questions or comments that stop the action or slow things down. The goal is to keep things moving forward. Additionally, incorporating specific details is crucial. These details help create a more tangible and vivid environment for the scene, making it feel real and immersive. Lastly, humor should be respectful and genuine. Forced or insincere jokes can take away from the authenticity of the moment. By following these guidelines, improv remains both structured and spontaneous, allowing for creativity to shine through. The magic rule of improv is the yes and technique, and it really boils down to three key steps. First, you accept the reality that your partner presents. This means you're fully on board with whatever they've introduced, no matter how surprising or unusual. Second, you contribute constructively to that reality. Instead of shutting down the idea, you add something that builds on it. Finally, this approach helps create agreement and encourages the story to grow. For instance, if someone says it's their 97th birthday, responding with yes, and I got her the pony she's always wanted, not only agrees, but also expands the story. keeping the momentum and creativity alive. It's all about collaboration and moving the narrative forward together. When we talk about saying yes in the context of yes, and it's important to understand that this isn't about blindly agreeing with everything your partner says. Instead, saying yes means you're acknowledging reality they've introduced into the scene. You're not necessarily saying you agree with it on a moral or intellectual level, but you recognize it's part of the world you're both creating. This acceptance is a deliberate choice to commit to the scene's given circumstances, allowing the story to move forward smoothly. It helps build mutual understanding and collaboration, even if you might personally disagree with what's happening. This commitment keeps the scene alive and dynamic, making sure everyone is on the same page. In improv, when your partner decides that you're a father in the scene, the key is to accept that identity fully. This acceptance keeps the scene moving and supports your fellow performers. On the other hand, if you deny that role, it disrupts the flow and leaves your partners feeling unsupported, which makes collaboration difficult. This idea applies to real life as well. When we reject or deny others' realities, it can feel dehumanizing and block genuine connection. But when we embrace the roles and perspectives others bring, it opens up meaningful dialogue, builds empathy, and strengthens our relationships on a deeper level. When we deny someone else's reality, it's not just a simple disagreement. It acts as a form of coercive power. This kind of denial can seriously damage relationships and often makes conflicts worse rather than resolving them. When people with differing viewpoints just shout over each other, it creates noise instead of meaningful dialogue. No one truly understands the other's perspective, and the conversation breaks down. On the other hand, when we choose acceptance, it opens a door to genuine communication and learning. Acceptance lays the groundwork for constructive interactions and helps move us toward reconciliation, making a crucial step in resolving disputes. When we talk about vulnerability, it's important to see it not as a weakness but as a key strength. First, vulnerability is essential for acceptance. It means being willing to open ourselves up to perspectives that are different from our own. This openness is what allows us to connect more deeply with others. When we are open, we foster empathy and build a true sense of community. Embracing vulnerability also shifts us away from defensive attitudes and moves us toward genuine, authentic engagement. Finally, when we continue to embrace vulnerability, it creates a space for mutual respect and ongoing learning, enriching our relationships and personal growth. When we encounter moments of difference or confrontation, taking a pause and consciously focusing on our breath can be incredibly valuable. This brief moment creates space for reflection, helping us step back from immediate reactions. By pausing, we reduce the chance of responding impulsively or denying the other person's perspective. Instead, we allow ourselves to thoughtfully consider their reality. This mindful presence not only calms the situation, but also fosters more respectful and constructive conversations. Ultimately, it deepens our understanding of others, strengthening our interpersonal connections. When starting out with improv, a common challenge is the urge to script scenes ahead of time or expect everything to be funny and perfect. This often sets us up for frustration, especially when our fellow performers don't go along with the story as we imagined. The key is to let go of these preconceived expectations and clear our minds. By doing this, we create space for genuine presence on stage. And it's this authentic presence that allows us to respond in the moment, to collaborate effectively, and to embrace whatever unfolds naturally, making performance more engaging and real. When it comes to presence in improv, deep listening is absolutely crucial. This means really tuning in, not just to your scene partners, but also to how the audience is reacting and even to your own internal emotions. It's this kind of attentive listening that anchors you in the moment. By fully engaging with all these aspects, you create a genuine connection that lets the scene flow naturally. It's this interaction that helps the story develop in an authentic and organic way. Presence isn't just about paying lip service or being superficially involved. It's about immersing yourself completely in the shared experience, allowing everyone involved to feel that real, alive connection. This depth of engagement is what elevates improvisation from good to truly compelling. When everyone in a group lets go of ego and any kind of pretense, and instead focuses on being fully present and open, something remarkable happens. The scene begins to flow effortlessly, creating what we call the group mind. This is a state where the collaboration goes beyond individual control, forming a seamless and spontaneous creative energy. It's a space built on mutual trust and openness, where ideas flow naturally and everyone contributes in harmony. This collective synergy is truly inspiring because it comes from a shared presence rather than any one person trying to dominate the moment. When we talk about spiritual emptiness, a key aspect is releasing attachments and letting go of the ego. This helps us cultivate a deep sense of peace and contentment because we're no longer tied to desires or the need to control outcomes. This idea resonates with several spiritual traditions. For example, in Christianity, there's a concept of kenosis, which is about self-emptying. In Sufism, Fana describes a dissolution of the self. And in Buddhism, emptiness refers to the absence of inherent self-existence. Importantly, this state of emptiness isn't about nothingness or nihilism. Instead, it represents openness, a space where we can fully embrace the richness of life without clinging to personal expectations. This openness brings balance and equanimity, allowing us to engage with life more freely and authentically. When we talk about emptiness here, we're not thinking of it as just a void or emptiness in a negative sense. Instead, it's more like fertile ground, something rich and full of potential. This kind of emptiness creates space for new experiences to emerge, giving us room to grow, to be creative, and to develop empathy towards others. It's a core principle in improv, where staying open and receptive allows us to respond and co-create spontaneously with our scene partners. In this way, emptiness becomes a dynamic space where transformation happens and genuine connection can be formed. It's this openness that makes everything possible. Miles Davis's approach to music teaches us a lot about the importance of active participation. When we say yes, we're simply accepting what's already there, but when we say, and we add something new, our own voice and creativity. This shift from acceptance to contribution is what drives momentum and sparks transformation. Just like in jazz, where Miles would follow Herbie's note with his own unique fill, this back and forth creates an ongoing cycle of improvisation. It's through these constructive responses that new ideas emerge and positive change happens, reminding us that true creativity comes from engaging actively and building on what others bring to the table. When it comes to deciding how to respond, improvisation teaches us that there are many possible replies in any situation. However, if we spend too much time analyzing each option, we risk losing momentum. What really matters is being prompt and authentic in our responses, which helps keep the energy flowing and the audience engaged. Instead of aiming for perfection, it's more important to be fully present and committed to whatever choice we make. Taking action, even if it's not flawless, is what drives progress and keeps the interaction moving forward. Overthinking can really kill the moment, especially when we rely too much on pre-planned responses or rigid scripts. While it might feel safer to have everything mapped out, this approach often takes away the spontaneity and authenticity that make interactions truly meaningful. When we try to control every word or reaction, it leads to conversations that feel unnatural and forced, lacking the flow and genuine connection we all crave. That's why embracing improv in communication is so valuable. It encourages us to let go, be present, and welcome uncertainty, prioritizing real connection over just trying to say the right thing. This mindset not only enriches our interactions, but makes them more engaging and alive. Here, we have an example scene centered around the offer. That's the last time I run a marathon backwards. This is a key moment where the action or idea is introduced. When responding to this offer, acceptable themes could include exploring how often the backward running actually happened, the reasons why it stopped, any injuries that resulted, or even whether others participated too. The main criteria for a good response is that it accepts the offer and builds on it in a proactive way. By doing this, the scene stays lively and engaging, while still allowing room for creative freedom that fits within the collaborative story we're creating together. Let's look at the story of Miles Davis and Herbie Hancock, which perfectly shows how taking action after acceptance can be truly transformative. During a live performance, Herbie played a wrong chord. Instead of reacting negatively, Miles creatively responded by filling around that chord, making it sound intentional rather than a mistake. This moment highlights how mistakes can be turned into innovative artistry when met with deliberate action. The key takeaway here is that acceptance by itself isn't enough, whether in music or life. It's the actions we take afterward that turn challenges into opportunities for growth and creativity. When we talk about presence and healing, the key is truly being present and listening without judgment. This creates a kind of emotional space where people feel safe and understood, which is essential for healing and forming genuine connections. When someone feels genuinely heard, without being interrupted or judged, it brings a sense of safety and validation that is incredibly powerful. This kind of presence allows people to open up, revealing their struggles and vulnerabilities. And it's in this openness that real growth and deeper relationships begin to form. Whether we're talking about close personal relationships or professional settings, supportive listening lays the groundwork for empathy, trust, and working together effectively. In essence, listening isn't just about hearing words. It's a foundation that enables connection and progress. For this challenge, I want you to pick a specific day within the next month to fully embrace the yes and mindset. On that day, commit to applying this principle in every interaction you have. Make sure you're completely present and attentive, really tuning into the moment with others. Practice accepting what people say without jumping to judgment right away. Instead, add to the conversation thoughtfully. Contribute ideas that build on what others are sharing in a positive and constructive way. Finally, take some time to document any changes you notice in how conversations flow or how your relationships feel. This will help you see your progress and understand the impact of this practice. When we talk about yes, and it's important to remember that it's not about agreeing with everything unconditionally. Saying yes and doesn't mean we accept every idea or demand without question. Boundaries and good judgment still play a vital role in how we respond. For instance, if a child asks to use a car to go to a party, it's responsible and ethical to say no, even within the spirit of yes and. The real art is finding that balance, embracing reality and collaborating positively, while sticking to our principles and keeping everyone safe. This way, we maintain integrity without shutting down creativity or conversation. Let's talk about some key lessons we've learned. First, acceptance is crucial because it opens us up to see and understand others' realities, which builds trust and connection. Next, being truly present allows us to engage authentically with others, creating meaningful emotional bonds. But acceptance alone isn't enough. Taking action is what moves our interactions forward in creative and effective ways. Also, when we let go of our egos, we allow a natural flow in collaboration, leading to deeper fulfillment. All these elements together help us build resilient relationships and dynamic teams that thrive on mutual respect and creativity. When we look beyond the stage, improv offers valuable lessons for many areas of life and leadership. For leaders, it enhances adaptability, encourages empathetic listening, and promotes collaborative decision-making, qualities essential for effective leadership. In education, improv supports creative participation and responsive teaching, helping both teachers and students to engage more deeply. Parenting also benefits, as it calls for patience, being fully present, and embracing the unexpected moments that come with raising children. When it comes to conflict resolution, improv teaches us to stay open to dialogue and to approach conversations without defensiveness, fostering more constructive outcomes. Teamwork is strengthened by developing shared understanding and the ability to offer spontaneous support when needed. Overall, improv creates environments built on trust, sparks innovation, and improves communication, making it a powerful tool across various aspects of life. To practice, yes, and daily, we start by actively listening, really paying attention without interrupting or jumping to conclusions. This helps create space for genuine understanding. Next, it's important to validate others' experiences sincerely and respectfully, showing that their perspective matters. Then, we add meaningful perspectives or solutions, making sure our contributions enhance the conversation thoughtfully. Pausing before responding gives us a moment to engage mindfully, preventing reactive answers. Letting go of ego-driven control allows us to stay open and flexible, which is key for collaboration. Finally, Embracing uncertainty means seeing it as a chance for shared creativity rather than something to fear. Together, these habits build a stronger, more open dialogue. When we talk about cultivating daily presence through mindfulness, it really comes down to a few key practices. First, regular mindfulness helps us stay present and open, which is critical for embracing the yes and mindset. It's about being fully engaged and receptive in the moment. Next, mindfulness encourages patience and acceptance, learning to be with whatever is happening right now without rushing or resisting it. One practical tool to support this is focused breathing. When moments get stressful, bringing attention back to your breath helps you stay centered and calm. Another important aspect is tuning into body language and emotions, both in yourself and others. This awareness deepens connection and understanding. Lastly, approaching every interaction with genuine curiosity instead of reacting impulsively allows for more thoughtful and meaningful exchanges. All of these elements together create a foundation for mindful and impactful presence every day. Empathy really starts with acceptance. When we genuinely accept someone else's reality without rushing to judge or fix it, we create the foundation for real empathy. Next, curious inquiry plays a crucial role. By asking open, thoughtful questions, we begin to see the common struggles and emotions that connect us all as human beings. This kind of openness helps us understand each other better and bridges the gaps that might otherwise separate us. Acceptance doesn't just open the door, it builds a safe and respectful space where different perspectives are truly valued and integrated. And it's in this environment where respect and diversity are honored that authentic connections and deep empathy can really flourish.